He definitely is preparing for this game. He's got this Massena squad, everything right down pat in this game. I'm sure he doesn't want to make the same mistake twice. I'm sure he wants to get out of here with a W and keep that perfect season going, Chip.
For the Gouverneur Wildcats now, the Wildcats offensively are going to hope that this weather is going to die down, the wind that is, so they can throw the ball. However, they have got to get a running game in order to kill some time off that clock to keep that Red Raider offense off the field.
Well, they certainly do, and I'll tell you, it's not going to be an easy task against that Red Raider front line.
Probably the biggest challenge Gouverneur is going to have, though, is defensively. They're going to have to stop the Red Raiders.
Well, they certainly are, and I'll tell you one thing the Gouverneur is probably hoping for is that wind to die down. If they can get into Massena's secondary, I think they're going to be toe-to-toe with them all the way.
Well, this game features 4 of the top running backs in the NAC, the top 2 passers in the NAC, the top receiver in the NAC. We'll talk more about those players as the game goes on. But when we return here on Edwards Production Sports, we'll have football action. And it's the championship variety as the Massena Central Red Raiders host the Gouverneur Wildcats. You can catch it all coming up next, right here on Edwards Production Sports.
NAC Football and Edwards Production Sports is brought to you today by Club 37, located on Tripoli Road, Massena. World of Color, located on Main Street in downtown Massena. By Landerville's Groceries, located on East Dover Street, Massena. Massena Building Supply, located on Water Street, Massena. Bob Post Insurance Agency, located on Maple Street, Massena. Frenchy Chevrolet Olds and Geo, located on East Dover Street, Massena. Blue Royal and Brazier Quick Stop, located on Route 11 across from the arena in Brazier Falls. Michelex Plastics. Great Northern Outfitters, located on Main Street in downtown Massena. Susie Travel, located on Main Street in downtown Massena. Hotel Netto, located on Andrew Street in Massena. And by WB Goodnow Insurance Agency, located on Route 11 in Brazier Falls. Once again, thank you to all of our sponsors, bringing you NAC football today here on Edwards Production Sports.
Chip Chapman and Jamie Davis welcome you back to Mike Nicholas Field in Massena, New York, as the Massena Central Red Raiders, who won the regular season with a record of 7-0 this season, their first undefeated season and outright league title since 1980. The Red Raiders with a fine season. The Gouverneur Wildcats with a 5-2 regular season mark. And then, of course, winners last week as the Red Raiders won 29-20 against St. Lawrence Central, while Gouverneur were beating a banged-up OFA football team by the score of 38-0. These teams met once before. Once again, we mentioned it. It was 41-6 in favor of the Massena Central Red Raiders in that football game. The Red Raiders, Jamie, in that game fumbled early, but then settled down. Maybe Hall of Fame jitters, maybe. And for the Gouverneur Wildcats, they did not play well on either side of the ball, said Coach Matt Tessmer, and they turned the ball over 6 times. So obviously, Matt Tessmer looking for a better performance tonight out of his football team, and they're going to need it.
Well, I'm sure you're going to see a different ball game here. This is for all the marbles, and I'm sure that the Wildcats are going to bear right down in this one.
There you get a look at Mike Bressert. He is set to kick off, and we are set for play-by-play action of this championship game. The ball bounces out of bounds at about the 20-yard line as the flag is dropped. Mike Petrie was over to take a look and watch the ball go out of bounds. We'll set up this Gouverneur offense since they will go on offense first. And they will have Gordy Griffith at quarterback, Jason Spicer, Jason Cardinale, Greg Bisa will be in the backfield. Ricky Koch will be the split end. You'll hear a lot of his name. The offensive starting line is Herschel Matthijs, Mark Bigarel, Jamie Gassett, Jason Fuller, and Sean Bolger. And the tight end will be Jake Weldon. Red Raiders defensively, this is how they will line up, as they will go with Sean Fauché at a linebacking position. James Mock will start at defensive end. Mike Dion and Ryan Kerwin will be the cornerbacks. Corey David will be a linebacker. Mike Bressert will be a defensive tackle, along with Frank Kutsakria and Brian Bartzel. And Tim Carbon will be a defensive end. Corey Lejean will be a safety, and Bobby Flynn will also be in the lineup. So this time, the Gouverneur Wildcats field the ball, and they start 1st and 10 from their own 34-yard line.
Well, the Wildcats have run one play already, and they've kept the ball on the ground, Chip. And with this wind blowing the way it is from where they're starting, it probably is a good idea. The wind has picked up once again here now.
just to pick up a 1 on that play. Now back to pass, Gordy Griffith towards the sideline. And the pass, let's see. I believe it's complete, but we'll wait. The receiver on the play for Gouverneur is who else but Ricky Koch.
And that has been a great 1-2 connection this year for the Wildcats. Griffith to Koch. And just a beautiful catch down the sideline for number 24, Ricky Koch. And that ball did hang up there a little while too, Chip, by the way.
Yes, it did, Jamie, and fortunately, it was a completion. Now, Gouverneur send a man in motion, and it's a running play as the give is to Greg Besaw, and Greg Besaw finds an opening and picks up about 6 yards on the play. Call it 5, and it's 2nd and 5.
Watch it again on the replay right here. The handoff, of course, going to Besaw, and he's over on the left-hand side trying to get down that sideline, which is a good move on this Massena defense, is to try to get down that sideline if you can.
Looked like Gouverneur had a guard that pulled that time, and Besaw took advantage of the block by the guard. Wildcats on a 2nd down play.
That tough defensive line for the Massena Red Raiders. A lot of teams so far this season, Chip, we've watched them. They've tried to run at that line, and, well, not with much success.
Red Raiders with a 3rd down stance here as Gouverneur have a 3rd and 5 in front of them. Ricky Koch goes wide left. Jake Weldon wide right. Gordy Griffith will roll out. Throwing the ball intended for Greg Besaw, covered on the play by Mike Dion, and the ball was incomplete.
Well, the Wildcats bring their special team, their punting team out onto the field, and they'll have to kick this ball away, and they're going to have to kick into a bit of a crosswind too, Chip, as the wind once again is beginning to pick up here.
Corey Lejam, along with Austin Rush, going back for the Red Raiders to about their 10-yard line, as the Wildcats will punt. And the kick is a low bounding punt, and it is going to go out of bounds close to the 15-yard line, and that's where the Red Raiders will take over. 1st and 10. Jamie, the first series, offensive series for Gouverneur in this football game, when you throw the ball, you don't take a whole lot of time off the clock. They had one good run by Besaw, but they weren't successful on 2nd down. And that forced a 3rd down passing situation that they did not convert. So we'll have to look. Gouverneur, of course, I'm sure Matt Tessmer are going to want to try to get some sustained drives in the game offensively. But now he sees his defense on the field, and Rochford, the give is up the middle, little yardage that time.
Gouverneur Wildcats doing a good job of closing up those holes in there, and I'll tell you, that's not an easy job to do against this offensive front line at 220 pounds plus of the Massena Red Raiders.
Sean Fauché, the ball carrier, and Josh Weldon was the tackler on that play. Gouverneur defensively here have Chad Mullen, the nose guard, Josh Weldon, the right tackle, Greg Manning, the right end, Jack Jenkins and Tim Nixon as the tackle and ends over on the left side. Nate Goodale is a cornerback along with Adam Morrissey. The safeties are Jason Besaw and Ricky Koch. The linebackers are Fuller and Weaver.
Nice tackle by Greg Weaver there on Jim Morrell to shut him down as Morrell tried to get around to the outside.
Greg Weaver with 12 tackles the opening week against St. Lawrence.
3rd down and long here, Chip, for the Red Raiders.
There you go. Look at Weaver on our screen. So a 3rd down and 9. And the Red Raiders trying to run the ball up the middle. They don't get much.
No, and I don't think they made it, Chip. I think they're way short of it. So, very good stand by the Wildcats right off the bat here, and that kind of boosts your morale just a little bit to stop them and have the Red Raiders go 3 downs and out like that. That's not an easy task. We haven't seen too many teams be able to do that this season.
Chad Mullen also in on the tackle, so now dropping back are Ricky Koch and Jake Weldon for the Wildcats, and they're standing at about their own 40 as Mike Bressert back to punt. Oh, and he gets a good kick aided by that wind. Koch goes back to about his own 37. Running up the middle, has some room. Finally is tackled on the play by Massena's Shane Lytle. But a good return as the Wildcats will go 1st and 10 from about their own. Checked out from about the Massena 47-yard line.
Nice run back by Ricky Koch right there, but also a great stop by Shane Lytle on the play to stop him and slow him up just a little bit so that the Massena tacklers could get in there and bring him down.
Gordy Griffith, the quarterback, sends a man in motion. That's Jason Spicer, but we have whistle, Steve Farmer. There you see Steve Farmer into the play.
Excuse me, Chip, I think somebody moved on the line for the Gouverneur Wildcats just after they sent the one man in motion. I see somebody flinch there. And the Wildcats, and I think this is something they wanted to stay away from, is getting the penalties.
Bruce Champagne is our referee for tonight's game. The linesman is Mike Lehendro. The umpire is Steve Farmer. The line judge, Carl Arajan. And the back judge, Don Petty. It's a beautiful night for football, although a little windy here at Mike Nicholas Field. Nice to have you along with us for Northern Athletic Conference Championship Football. Here on Edwards Production Sports, Griffith back to pass. Intended for Greg Besaw, but incomplete.
I'm really surprised, Chip, to see Griffith putting the ball up like this in the wind, although he's kept the passes quite low. Let's watch it once again. Here's Griffith. He's back to pass. He's trying to keep the ball down and low. And Besaw not coming up with it that time there, but he's really rifling those passes and keeping them low. He's not getting them up in the air too much, although we have seen one of them already.
Sean Fauché was right by the pass receiver that time. This is Gordy Griffith on the keeper. And Griffith is going to pick up some yardage on the play.
Nice keeper by Griffith that shows everybody he can run the ball. Let's watch it once again, and he goes right at the heart of this Massena line. Look at him. Cuts right back through the heart of the line, and something we haven't seen all season, the hole opened up for him, so the Wildcats are doing the job on that offensive line.
Got away from defensive end Tim Carbonneau that time. Not allowed Koch to pick up some yardage, but Gouverneur faced with another 3rd down situation here. This time 3rd and about 6. Ricky Koch coming in with a play from the sideline, and we get a timeout in the early going. 6 minutes, 37 seconds remaining here in our first quarter. Gouverneur called timeout.
And there's Gordy Griffith down there, number 5. He's had himself quite a season in the passing department. He's done a great job passing, and this Gouverneur Wildcat team, we know that there are a couple other teams in the league, such as St. Lawrence Central and so on, that do pass the ball, but I think this team here puts the ball up more than anybody else.
So with this timeout, we're going to step away. We'll be back right after this.
Enjoy a delicious meal in a relaxing atmosphere, along with a price you can afford at the Club 37 on Tripany Road in Massena. The Club 37 offers daily lunch and dinner specials. Open Monday through Friday for lunch 11 till 4, Tuesday through Sunday for dinner from 4 till 10. They specialize in seafood, steaks, and Italian food. Fine food and all your favorite beverages is what you'll find when you visit the Club 37 on Tripany Road in Massena.
The Wildcats with a 3rd down situation and about 6 for a 1st down. Ball resting about the 45-yard line. Griffith back to pass. It's incomplete. I think having him momentarily over there on the sideline was Ricky Koch.
Yeah, Koch had a hold of that, and I don't know, he didn't turn upfield, so it was an incomplete pass. He didn't even get a chance to turn around. And they tried to go on the short pass, and this is something we've seen a couple of teams use against Massena, have been successful with it. But the Red Raiders getting over there in a hurry, Ricky Koch unable to hang on to the ball.
Ricky Koch, a leading receiver in the NAC, 30 receptions for 484 yards, averaging about 16 yards a catch. And he had 6 touchdown passes on the season. So the Wildcats back to punt for the 2nd time in this game. Porter with the punt. Corey Lajama is going to let it roll out of bounds.
Wildcats have got a very talented special teams outfit. I watched them during practice there, and they were putting some punts down the field quite a ways. And their special teams definitely, Chip, will be something to see in this game.
Massena Central Red Raiders with their second offensive series in this football game.
The Red Raiders coming into this game and all season long have had one of the most talented backfields in Massena Red Raider history, I'd have to say.
The Red Raiders this time to give is to Sean Fauché. Fauché is pushed back a little bit, Jamie.
Yes, he is, and the Wildcats just swarming all over him on that carry.
That time in on the tackle, Jason Fuller and Greg Manning. There you get a look at Greg Manning.
Sean Fauché has not been an easy target to bring down all season long. He's been able to get through there pretty good, but Wildcats that time covering right up.
Red Raiders going with Sean Fauché at fullback. Of course, P.J. Rochford at quarterback. Jim Morrell also in the backfield along with Austin Rush. The split end is Bobby Flynn as we watch this next play.
Morrell trying to get around the other side. And he picks up, looked like a couple there.
Frank Kutsakri is the center. Brian Bartow is a guard. Pat Tripany, who was hurt last week, is back in the lineup this week. He is also at the guard position. He tackles there Don Moffitt and Callie Wells. And the tight end is Mike Barton. This time, Jamie Mock.
And it is complete.
There you get a look at Jamie Mock. Jamie Mock, a defensive end, also threw a touchdown pass earlier this season. Not sure if Jamie Mock has caught a pass all season. No, he has not.
I don't think so,
That's his first reception. And they move the chains as the Red Raiders throw the football and convert.
Big first down for the Red Raider squad.
So the Red Raiders come out and give Gouverneur a little different look. Now they try to run up the middle. As is Jim Morrell, the ball carrier.
Well, we're seeing more and more of Jim Morrell. Like I said the past couple of games, it was kind of a deal where he's come on from about the halfway mark of the season, and it seems like every game now since then he's been carrying the ball more and more times.
I might have mentioned a Bobby Flynn in the lineup, but he is not in this offensive series. Rochford now to Austin Rush. Rush carrying the football, picks up a few yards, spun around and finally tackled. As in on a tackle is Jason Fuller, along as he got some help that time by Clark Porter.
The Red Raiders are not going straight up the gut at the Wildcats. They are either going around one side or the other. They're not running right at them here, which is a little unusual. We haven't seen too many teams where the Red Raiders haven't been afraid to go right after them.
Well, the Red Raiders in the early going, Jamie, might be just experimenting and feeling things out. This is Sean Fauché with a punishing run.
Nice.
Fauché picks up yardage for the first down. Red Raiders now with 2 consecutive first downs, Jamie, and they're on the move.
One of the things they teach you in football, and all the coaches will tell you this too, and for you Pop Warner players that are watching, it's a good thing. I mentioned this in the beginning of the year. You notice the running backs, how they keep their head down and they keep their feet going forward and keep that head down. They don't lift up any at all. This gets them that big yardage that they need, and there's Sean Fauché right there. He's a perfect example of that.
Red Raiders send Morrell in motion, and they give us to Morrell. Morrell running around the left end. Jim Morrell gets away from one tackle, but is pushed out of bounds in front of the Red Raider bench.
Well, Morrell wanted to turn it up down the sidelines there, but he couldn't quite get around the far side. He did a great job to get around and outside the best he could there, but he wanted to turn that upfield, Chip.
But another first down for Massena, their third in this drive, as the Red Raiders now starting to move the ball offensively. They have the ball at about the Gouverneur 42. Morrell goes in motion to give once again as to Morrell. He gets around one tackle, finally met by a host of Gouverneur tacklers that time. Jason Visa in on a tackle, had some help. pickup of about 3 on the play. Jamie?
The Red Raiders once again now going right at them. And I was really wondering how the Red Raiders were, what they were going to do there. They were running around the outside of the Gouverneur line, but now they're starting to go right at them.
Red Raiders with 445 yards of total offense against Gouverneur when they played during the regular season. Gouverneur with only 156 yards in that game. Red Raiders run the football once again. It's Sean Fauché this time. Fauché is stopped, is getting up from the pile is Chad Mullen. And that brings up a 3rd down and a long 6. Greg Weaver also in on the stop. There you go, look at Weaver. Weaver, the key to Gouverneur's defense. Made a nice play there. So 3rd down, let's see what the Red Raiders do here. They send Morrell in motion. Rashford fakes. He sets up an Austin rush. Makes the catch. He is close. Let's see, no. They roll it incomplete.
It came out of his hands. He tried to turn upfield, Chip, and the ball just came right on through. And I've seen a lot of receivers do that. Let's watch it again on the replay. Rashford is back to pass, and there it goes.
Oh, right in his hands. And look
Right
at Austin
through.
Rush. You can tell Jamie was disappointed on that
Oh,
play.
he definitely was. He wanted to turn upfield for all it was worth.
Maybe he needed a pair of those Jamie Davis gloves that you were sporting earlier in the season. Those orange, highly fluorescent gloves.
They're warm, and I'm going to keep wearing them.
So the Red Raiders with a 4th down and here, and Mike Bressard back to punt. Corey David with a nice block. Fielding the ball at about his own 5 is Ricky Koch, and Ricky Koch gets to about the 10. So good coverage downfield by the Red Raiders.
Excellent coverage downfield by the Red Raiders special team.
Brian Peets made the tackle. Remember Brian Peets last week, and Jeremy Collette, who tried to put the stops on a punt and turn and go the opposite direction, and Peets met him.
Yes, he did. We'll watch it on the replay here. Excellent punt. Got off a beautiful punt. And you can see right here, Massena's got that pretty well covered up, and number 24, Ricky Koch, is going nowhere.
So the Wildcats start 1st and 10 from about their own 10-yard line. And they give us the B-side. We got a flag, we got a face mask.
Yes, that one there, we can see it right there. And
Greg B-side, the ball carrier.
And that more than likely will be a 15-yard penalty right there against the Red Raiders. We'll watch it once again, I think, on the replay. Here it is, coming right there. Oh, boy.
Jamie Mock pushed off the blocker, but Jamie Mock got a little bit too high on that tackle as he grabbed a hold of B-side's face mask on the way down, and it's a big 15-yard penalty assessed against Massena.
Got to keep your hands off that birdcage.
So the Wildcats now, Griffith back to pass. He has a man all alone, and it's Ricky Koch. Koch with a reception. Koch down the sideline. Finally pushed out of bounds by Bobby Flynn.
And a big saver there by Bobby Flynn. If he hadn't have been there, Koch was gone. Bob Flynn, an excellent move there to get there in time.
I think Bobby Flynn slipped on the play too, Jamie. If we can get a look at this again. But there you get a look at Ricky Koch.
And Koch has got to be real happy with that one. Here it is once again. Beautiful pass off by Griffith. He gets down the sidelines. Koch has got it. He says, oh boy, here we go. We're off to the races. And no, sir, Flynn gets there just in time to cut him off from going to the end zone. Big play by Flynn.
Koch, 7 catches last week, 138 yards and 2 touchdowns against OFA. Gordy Griffith back to pass again. Oh, and slipping on the play, but getting up and making the catch. That time is Jake Weldon.
And Weldon making the catch right there, but what a blast from number 94 for the Massena Red Raiders to get him down. We'll watch it once again. Here's the pass by Griffith. What an excellent catch, and wow, what a hit right after that. Man, did anybody get the number of that truck? May have been Corey Lajam. We'll have to check and see. He's usually number 84. That was number 94, so we'll have to check and see.
Wildcats send a man in motion. Gordy Griffith trying to get away from Jamie Mock. Griffith will throw this ball out of the end zone as Bobby Flynn had Ricky Koch too well protected in the end zone. Good play by the Red Raider safety that time. Bobby Flynn, who had an outstanding game against Gouverneur the first time these two teams met. He caught a touchdown pass in that game. He had a couple of interceptions against Gordy Griffith. But this time, Griffith did the heads-up thing. He saw his man was covered. He had pressure coming on him as Jamie Mock was pressuring him, and he threw the ball out of bounds.
Gordy Griffith has thrown 2 or 3 excellent passes. Now that one there, of course, the Massena secondary doing a super job back there covering up that time.
Gordy Griffith on the season was 52 of 96 for 744 passing yards and a 54% average.
Oh, and that was almost picked off right there.
That time, the Wildcats tried to throw the football intended for Mike Petrie, and the ball was behind him, and boy, they are very fortunate, James.
Yes, they are. Bobby Flynn was at the right place at the right time. He had to go down for the ball, and he says, oh, boy, I can't believe it. He had that one. Nice try by Bobby Flynn to get that ball.
There you get a look at Flynn on our screen. He had to sit out last week's game because of a ankle injury. Corey David is probably still bruised. I'm sure Bobby Flynn may be still suffering a little bit, as well as as well as Trippeney on the front line. Griffith looking in the end zone, throwing the ball, and it is caught. It's a touchdown for Gouverneur.
Oh, and it couldn't have come any closer to that back line over there. And a touchdown by Ricky Koch. And man, oh man, he was real close. Take a look at where he is. We'll want to watch it again on the replay. Griffith is going to pass it to Koch, but look where he is on the line. He is so close, but just in time for the touchdown.
He was covered pretty well that time, Jamie, but I think Bobby Flynn might have took a look at the quarterback to see what direction he was throwing the ball, and Koch snuck behind him and was able to catch that football. So the Wildcats strike first in this game. They lead 6-0. Here's the 2-point conversion. And a ball intended for Koch, and this time
Bob Flynn was not going to let him get another one. That was for sure on that.
But the Wildcats get on the scoreboard. We'll have to take a look again. Just 16 seconds remaining in our first quarter. Did Bobby Flynn do a little bumping in the end zone?
We'll have to watch and see. He was like a shadow there, and let's watch and say, well, I don't know. That was kind of tough to call. He was like Ricky Koch's shadow all the way through that play.
Mike Lehendro was
here it is once again.
Right there with the call.
Well, he kind of laid his hand on his back. And
close.
Interesting.
Maybe Lehendro saw that, both players have the right to go for the football, Jamie, or whatnot, but no call on the play. The ball the pass incomplete, so Gouverneur are unsuccessful with their 2-point conversion. However, they get on the scoreboard, and with just 16 seconds remaining in our first quarter, there you see our score on our Brazier Quick Stop scoreboard.
Well, the Wildcats are off to about the same start they were the last time here. They were the first ones to score. But this ought to pump up this Massena Red Raider squad right here.
Red Raiders now on the run back. And a good return as finally making the stop for Gouverneur is Greg Weaver. And it was, I believe, Jason Massop. There you get a look at Massop with a nice return.
Nice return by Massop, and he has put the Red Raiders in pretty darn good field position right here.
Red Raiders look like they go 1st and 10 from, I'd say, maybe about the 37-yard line.
And we have a whistle, and it's
the end of the quarter.
The end of the quarter.
So we have played 1 quarter from Mike Nicholas Field in Massena, New York, with our score. The Gouverneur Wildcats 6, the Massena Central Red Raiders nothing. We'll be back with more Section 10 Championship football right after this.
Landerville Groceries and Bottle Center would like to welcome you in. Landerville's Groceries can give you great savings on all the groceries you need so you can fill your cupboards without emptying your wallet. Find great prices on all your favorite beverages and cigarettes, too. And don't forget to take advantage of their bottle return center, where you'll always get prompt, courteous service with a smile. Landerville's Groceries and Bottle Center, conveniently located at 301 East Orvis Street in Massena.
When it's time to build, head for Massena Building Supply and Northern Building Supply, your Golden Wool Lumber Centers. Supplying the North Country with the best selection and price on all your building and remodeling needs. At Massena and Northern Building Supply, you'll get the best in service from friendly professionals. Whether you need tools, lumber, paint, or an entire kitchen or bath, All your building needs can be met right here at your Golden Rule Lumber Centers, Massena and Northern Building Supply.
Welcome back to Mike Nicholas Field. Massena Central Red Raiders trailing 6-0 in this football game as we begin second quarter action. P.J. Rochford, and the hand is to Sean Fauché. Fauché is tackled by a host of Gouverneur Wildcats. The first man that put his arms on him was Greg Weaver.
Sean seems to be having quite a long night right here. The Wildcats, they seem to be keying on him. But Fauché a couple of times has gotten through that Wildcat defensive line and has been able to pick up some big yardage.
Jamie, we mentioned before the football game that Gouverneur were going to have to stop Massena. That was going to be a big key for Gouverneur if they were to win this football game. They have to stop this Red Raider running game. This is Austin Rush, the ball carrier, and he is tackled that time by Chad Mullen. And the Wildcats probably will be doing it with giving the Red Raiders different looks. Maybe a 4-man front, possibly a 5, possibly a 6-man front. Probably doing some blitzing. They're going to have to change things up in order to keep the Red Raiders off balance.
Well, you have to get into that Red Raider backfield just as quickly as you can before the play can develop. If the play develops a little too far, you're in a lot of trouble with this Red Raider squad.
Third down and about 4 for the Red Raiders, and a pass from Mike Barton. And Barton couldn't bring it in. He'd like to have that one back.
Oh, he sure would. He had one of those one-handed grabs that I think he thought of when he tried to get a hold of it, was going to try to bring it back into himself, and he couldn't quite do it, and he's very, very upset with himself.
In about 3 weeks' time, Mike Barton will probably be catching those basketball passes underneath the basket.
Yes, that's right. We got a couple of fellows like that. I believe that is it Jamie Mock that's also a member of the team
Correct.
as well.
That's right.
And very shortly they'll be jumping from a football uniform to a basketball uniform.
But Tony DiAgostino would have liked to have seen his tight end come down with that pass. Pressured. Ooh, Gouverneur with pretty good pressure. Now they're going to let this one bounce, and getting away from the ball are Mike Petrie and Ricky Koch, and the Red Raiders get Mike Bressard with an outstanding punt that time. Bressard averaging 34.7 yards per kick.
Excellent kick on the play. Excellent punt on the play for the Red Raiders. And this pushes the Wildcats back quite a ways.
Looks like they'll go 1st and 10 from their own 15. A 90-yard drive for Gouverneur, which culminated in a 6-0 lead as Griffith threw to Koch, probably about 25 yards out. And it's 6-0 Wildcats as we play early in the second quarter. And a fumble on the play. And the Red Raiders have the football. Jamie Mock.
Major fumble recovery right here for the Red Raiders.
And a big break, and the first one of the game goes to the Red Raiders.
We're going to watch it once again. Good fake here by Griffith. And then...
Oh, Jamie Mock knocked the ball down. Great play by Mock, the defensive end, as Griffith tried to pitch the ball. Did not see Mock standing there. Look at it.
That's exactly what happened. And you know something? If Mock had taken a couple more steps, he'd have probably picked off the pitch and ran it into the end zone.
He was very close to doing that.
He was.
So the Red Raiders give the ball to Austin Rush. Rush gets close to the 5-yard line.
I believe so. Well, Chip Chapman with the keen eye again, and I could not quite pick that up. And once again, I'll have to go see my optician.
How about guessing?
It's a good guess. But I'll tell you something, a couple more steps and he would have got it.
So the Red Raiders with the ball at about the 6-yard line. Second down. And goal, and all kinds of flags.
I think we're going to get a procedure play here, and I think they're going to call it on the center. I don't think that P.J. Rochford was ready for that ball at all. I don't know whether we're going to get another look at it or not, but I think you'll find that there was a
yes,
miss, and that's exactly what
Frank Kutsakria. Did you say the center?
Yeah.
Frank Kutsakria.
I have a feeling that's what happened right there. Rochford didn't look as if he was ready for that ball at all, and I think he flinched just a little bit in the beginning. We're not going to get a chance to look at it again, but it did look like the only person that really wanted to go there was the center. Usually that's the one you wait for, but something happened with a misconnection between the center and P.J. Rochford.
Now here are the Red Raiders trying to run the football in. They get close.
Great camera angle there by Chris in order to show us that Gouverneur line, and they've done one whale of a job so far. This is not an easy team to stop at all.
Third down coming up, and the ball at about the 4-yard line.
Here it is once again. Watch the snap. See
Oh,
that?
yes. That's right. As soon as he got up to the Frank
Center was in a big hurry to get that touchdown, I guess.
So a big third down here for the Red Raiders. And they give us to Fauché. And he does not get in as he is stopped at about the 2-yard line.
Boy, I'll tell you, that's real close down there.
And in on the tackle once again, Greg Weaver. We've talked about Weaver. He's one of the leading tacklers on this football team and one of the leaders, period, for Matt Tessmer's Gouverneur Wildcats.
Red Raiders haven't got far to go to get this touchdown. You can see where the ball is. It's very, very close to that line. And the Red Raiders have called a timeout. They want to talk this one over, Chip.
So with this timeout, we have 8 minutes, 11 seconds remaining in our first half. We're going to step away. We'll be back right after this.
A World of Color is here to serve you with all your decorating needs by offering big sale savings now. The World of Color can offer you Pittsburgh paint now at 20% off. Also, Sunworthy wallpaper, 60 to 90% off. Imperial wallpaper is just $5.50 a double roll with Imperial border at $3 a roll. Book orders are available at 30% off, and framing of your choice also 30% off. Give your home a new touch of color with the new paint and wallpaper on sale now at the World of Color at 10 Main Street in downtown Massena.
So the Red Raiders with a big 4th down and about 2 yards to go for a touchdown. And Tony D'Agostino and his coaching staff wanted to call timeout and talk about things. So we'll have to see. This is going to be a big play for Gouverneur if they can come up with, if they can stop the Red Raiders here.
And if they do, it'll be something that a lot of teams haven't been able to do.
That's for sure. And the Red Raiders that give us the Fauché. He's in for a touchdown.
Sean Fauché, big touchdown for the Red Raiders right here.
Callie Wells and Pat Tripany and Brian Bartow and Frank Kuchakria, Don Moffitt, Callie, and that big Red Raider front line are able to do the job.
Here it is once again. The give to Fauché, and he keeps that head down low and keeps those feet going forward, and a big touchdown for the Red Raiders, and it looks as if, no, they are going to go for the field goal.
Mike Bressert is on to attempt the extra point. That could put the Red Raiders in the lead, but they fake, and Bressert has a man all alone, and it is a 2-point conversion. Hey, the Red Raiders pull some things out of their hat here.
I spoke too soon. I said, well, it looks like they're going to go for 2 points. Nope, they're going to go for the field goal. No, they went for the 2 points. Number
Jason
25,
Peets.
Jason Peets. You're right, Chip.
Look at that.
And there he is, and he says, look what I've got in my hand.
Hey, this is looking more and more like Canadian football every week here, Jimmy.
What an excellent call by the Massena Red Raiders right there. And I wouldn't be a bit surprised that in that timeout, that was one of the plays that was called for.
So the Red Raiders.
Excellent, excellent call.
That is right on, Jamie, as the Red Raiders now take the lead by the score of 8-6.
Nice call. I can't get over that. That was an excellent call. And the Red Raiders with a 2-point advantage over the Wildcats. We have really been thoroughly entertained by this Red Raiders squad this year.
For Sean Foch, I believe that's his 11th rushing touchdown on the season. Gouverneur with a little trouble on the kickoff as they had trouble handling the ball. And Ricky Koch.
Rick had a hard time picking that ball up. We'll have to, if we get a chance to look at it again, you'll watch Rick goes down, tries to pick that ball up, and it just slips out of his hands, and he decided, well, I better dive on this before everybody arrives.
So
here it is once again on the kickoff. Now Rick can't get it there. Now he tries to go and pick it up. I just can't get my hands on this thing.
And he took his eye off the football to look and see where the Massena players were, and that almost cost him.
Ooh!
Yeah, it doesn't look like he has control of the football very well either.
No, and I think the Red Raiders knew it, and they tried to strip it away, and number 43 has the ball, but the referee says, no, yeah, he might have picked his pocket, but I don't think you've got it.
Greg B saw the ball carry. He picks up about a yard on the play. Call it 2nd and 9.
It's times like that when you can't handle the ball that you wish that it had handles on it.
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
No, it does not.
Greg Bisa carried the ball 6 times last week against Old Bay for only 9 yards. 2nd down here. They send a man in motion. That's Petrie. Gordy Griffith throwing a ball, and it is caught. Ricky Koch the catch, and Bobby Flynn.
Nice catch by Ricky Koch right there. There you see him, the senior. And I'll tell you, when you get into that secondary, Bobby Flynn is going to punish you when you get back in there. Between he and Carbonell, they know how to punish people when they get into that secondary.
So it appears as though whichever way Ricky Koch goes, as you can see, Bobby Flynn is going with Ricky Koch. So they will be battling all season long, or all game long, I should say. We have a timeout here as the Wildcats take timeout. 6:20 remaining until halftime. 8-6 our score. Red Raiders in the lead. We'll be back right after this.
Frenchie Chevrolet Olds, 255 East Orvis Street in Massena, offers a vast inventory of new and used vehicles as well as state-of-the-art service and Mr. Goodwrench GM parts, plus complete body and glass repair and maintenance, and also AAA approved 24-hour wrecker service. For all your automobile needs, see the professionals at Frenchie Chevrolet Olds, 255 East Orvis Street, Massena.
Third down for the Wildcats, and about 1, a long 1. They go Gordy Griffith, and the handoff is to, I'm not sure, was that Greg Weaver in
No,
the
look like
backfield?
Jason Cardinell.
Cardinell?
Take a look. I think that's who it was. But boy, whoever it was didn't go very far. Let's watch it once again. I believe this is Jason Cardinell that gets it. Yes, it is. And boy, has he ever met. And I think that was, yes, it was. It was Sean Fauché. And he's made some pretty vicious stops this season for the Red Raiders.
Jason Cardinell, one of the leading rushers in the NAC this season. So a 4th down, and Porter back to punt. And it's a low line drive kick, bobbled. And now Austin Rush fields the football. Rush is tackled after a short return, and the Red Raiders have the ball at their own 47-yard line.
Good downfield coverage by the Gouverneur Wildcats right there. As the punt, a bullet punt too, by the way. Those are very hard to handle, Chip.
Yes.
That kind of a punt.
5 minutes, 46 seconds remaining until halftime, and the Red Raiders have the ball 1st and 10 at their own 48. Red Raiders give us to Sean Fauché. He loses his balance. Sneaks through the line, maybe picks up a couple.
Sean didn't seem to get any good footing there when he took off from the backfield. It seemed like it was like spinning tires on icy pavement, I guess. I shouldn't say that because we've had some great weather.
Good analogy, though.
For it.
Good
That's
analogy that
like.
side. 2nd down, and about 8 yards to play, or 8 yards to go for another 1st down. Sean Fauché, the ball carrier once again. Sean Fauché, Jamie, probably 50 yards away from a 1,000-yard season.
He's very close, and he picked up 2 or 3 more right there, and that's quite an honor to have right there if he does get it. A 1,000-yard season is something that a lot of running backs in high school dream about at the beginning of the year. Well, coming up at halftime, we've got a halftime show you're going to love here on Edwards Production Sports. We'll tell you about it in a minute.
P.J. Rochford back to pass in his throw. was incomplete, as downfield was Bobby Flynn, but the ball was underthrown. And Rochford was getting some pressure that time by the Gouverneur defensive unit. So the Red Raiders will be forced to punt on 4th down and about 7 yards to go, make it 6 yards to go for a first down.
Coming up, Chip, coming up at the half, a recap of the Massena Red Raiders season and what a dandy it has been, and you'll all see all of that at the half.
Yes, we think that you'll enjoy our halftime feature. Here's the snap. Bresser punts the football, and he gets another good kickoff. Ricky Koch back to field it. Koch is spun down and tackled. As right there,
it looks like Corey Lasham, and it is. Number 84, and he had a handful of jersey, and thank goodness.
It looked like possibly the face mask at first look, Jamie, but Corey Lajam with outstanding coverage that time on that punt.
Corey Lajam saying, thank goodness I have my hand on that jersey.
Yes, and not the face mask.
Right, that just proves that you don't have to get a hold of the person entirely. You can get a hold of that jersey and they'll come down that way too.
So the Wildcats have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 10-yard line. Gordy Griffith looking over that Red Raider defense. The give is to Greg Besaw. And Besaw picks up nice yardage that time.
Nice run by Besaw. He's had an excellent season, too, for the Gouverneur Wildcats. Let's watch it once again. Griffith and the give to Besaw. Notice the Wildcats are trying to get around to the outside of that Massena Red Raider line. They're not trying to run right at them, Chip, which is good. That's an excellent way to try to get through to them. Going right up the gut and right at them this season, we've seen a lot of teams try to do that, and it just doesn't seem to pay big dividends. But if you can get around the outside of that line, you've got a pretty good shot at getting by them.
And because the Red Raiders are so good offensively and in rushing the football themselves, Gouverneur have got to find a running game in this football game, Jamie, in order to keep running some time off the clock to keep that Red Raider offensive unit off the field.
Well, they certainly do. And here's something else, too. Gouverneur, I think, will once again try to put this ball up in the air. The wind has died down again here, and I'm sure that once this wind gets down to a point where it's not blowing constantly here, I think you'll see them put that ball up more, and they're well noted for that.
It is a 3rd down for Gouverneur, and inches for a first down. Griffith on the quarterback sneak. Gordy Griffith still on his feet. It's finally brought down by Ryan Kerwin, but he picks up enough yardage for the first down.
Griffith has been excellent on that keeper tonight. He's picked up some big yards on that keeper.
3 minutes and 34 seconds left to go here in our second quarter.
And Gordy Griffith has had an outstanding season in the passing department, but that's 2 times now we've seen him keep the ball, and he's picked up big yards on it. But that also means that Gouverneur offensive line is doing their job. They're moving players out of the way so he can get through there.
Gordy Griffith, whose best offensive game rushing this season was 4 carries for 19 yards and 1 touchdown against Watertown. Picked up the first down that time. Wildcats just keeping the ball on the ground, this time with Jason Spicer. And Spicer picks up good yardage.
Haven't heard much from Jason Spicer yet in this game. This is probably his 2nd carry or so. There's a look at Jason Spicer, number 20. And he's only a junior, and they'll get Spicer back again next season, and I'm sure they're happy about that.
Spicer, who had 8 carries for 60 yards last weekend and an 18-yard TD against OFA. Picks up about 9, and it's 2nd down for the Wildcats.
And Griffith on another keeper, Chip.
Well,
this is working great for him.
Yeah, if it works once, why not try it again?
Well, this is his 3rd time at it, and he's done very well at it. He's picked up some big yards with that.
So the Wildcats are moving the football now as they get close to midfield.
You know what's surprising about the 3 times that he's done it is how that offensive line of the Wildcat has been able to open up a hole for him. That's something we haven't seen much of this season against Massena.
Wildcats with the ball at about the 42-yard line. Their own 42, that is. Now they send Koch in motion, and they throw a quick pass. It is intercepted. Bobby Flint with a football. Flint will run out of bounds.
Oh, my.
And a late hit. And no doubt about it, he was hit after he went out of bounds, and that's going to cost the Wildcats another 15 yards as Sean Bulger. We're going to look at it again. It was just a quick slant-in pattern.
Beautiful timed hit right there by Lasham. Here's Flynn down the sidelines, and oh, my. Just a brutal punishment there.
It appeared he was out of bounds, but I guess he was not, so...
We'll watch it once again. Here's Bulger down the side, or excuse me, Flynn down the sideline.
You're right, he was not out of bounds.
He is not out of bounds.
So there was no penalty on the play. I take that back. It appeared at our first vantage point that he was hit way out of bounds, but...
Boy, Sean Bulger, he, man, oh man, he just made sure he was going to go out of bounds.
So the Red Raiders who took advantage of a Gouverneur fumble deep in their own zone to pick up their first touchdown in this football game. Intercept the football. Bobby Flynn with his third interception now against Gouverneur on the season. And now they will try to convert that as we only have a minute 15. Call it minute 17 to play here before halftime.
Jim Morrell on the carry once again. Boy, they're really utilizing Morrell.
There you see our score on the WEPT Raise Your Quick Stop Sports scoreboard. Massena leading Gouverneur 8-6. Been a much closer game than the first time these two teams played, where...
Certainly has. We've seen excellent defense on both teams.
Wildcats now P.J. Rochford throwing the football, and it's behind Bobby Flynn, as Flynn working against Ricky Koch.
Flynn tried to come back a little bit for that ball, and his feet just came out from underneath him. He tried to get back in there and make a sensational catch. Let's watch it once again. Here's Rochford. He rolls out there, and look at this. You see where he tried to come back right there, and he just couldn't get a good bite on that ground out there.
Just a quick 2-yard drop by P.J. Rochford.
There's Coach Tony DiAgostino on the sidelines having a banner season with this Massena Red Raiders squad.
P.J. Rochford now hands off to Sean Fauché, and Fauché is wrestled to the ground. Greg Manning in on the stop. Also had some help, I believe, by Chad Mullen on that play. Talking about P.J. Rochford in the passing department. Rochford 19 completions on 31 attempts, 359 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and averaged about 61 completion rate of about 61% for Rochford. Rochford's going to run on the outside this time.
Nice run by Rochford. He got around to the outside, but I think what the key was here, he was able to buy some time with an excellent fake. He has faked the ball, I think, better than anybody this season. Let's watch it once again. Here's Rochford with the fake. Look at that fake to Sean Fauché. He had almost everybody fooled on that team, but the Gouverneur picked it up real quick and moved him out of bounds.
26 seconds remaining until halftime. P.J. Rochford did a good job of taking care of Nate Gooddale over there as Gooddale tried to make the tackle. Red Raiders have a first down in deep. It's Fauché with a ball. Fauché still on his feet, and he drags a Gouverneur player over the goal line. Touchdown, Red Raiders.
Big touchdown right there. Watch Sean Fauché go through this line. It looked like he was stopped at one point, and then he did something that everybody should learn, that in football, all you youngsters that are watching, he was spinning off the tackle, and it worked out great for him.
Sean Fauché, a very powerful running back, picks up his 12th touchdown on the season.
We get a chance to look at it again. Here it is. Watch him spin off the tackle. See that? Spins right off. He spins off another one, and he's in for the touchdown. That's excellent running right there.
Keep those feet moving.
Yes.
He is so big.
And spin off the tackle. That was excellent running by Sean Fauché right there. That was textbook style running right there.
Sean Fauché, a very strong runner, and he has... Sean Fauché has...
Here it is again. There's the spin right there. And in he goes.
And Sean Fauché, as he is being congratulated, he was congratulated a moment ago by Tony DiAgostino. He has picked up, now ran for over 1,000 yards on the season.
Well, what a way to end it by getting a touchdown.
Yes.
For it. And we'll have to keep a close eye on this so-called field goal attempt here.
The extra point.
Oh!
Somebody moved. We'll see.
And this is going against the Red Raiders, so this is going to move them back, and this will present an interesting turn of events here. Now it's whether or not to find out if it's easier to go for two or try to go for the field goal, and it looks like they're going for the field goal, Chip.
Red Raiders penalized on the play. Tony DeAgostino with congratulations for Austin Rush a moment ago. Bressert's kick is up. It is good. So the Red Raiders now leading in this football game with just 21 seconds remaining by the score of 15-6.
Well, a great drive by the Massena Red Raiders, and all on that fumble recovery, or excuse me, the interception. And an excellent interception it was. And that's all it takes to get a football team really pumped up, is for a play like that to turn them around.
First time these two teams played, Jamie. Gouverneur.
I thought the Queen Elizabeth was coming right in here.
First time these two teams played, Gouverneur turned the ball over 6 times, and the Red Raiders converted on a lot of those turnovers to score 41 unanswered points. Here tonight, they've turned the ball over twice, and it's resulted in 15 points so far.
Turnovers, and any coach will tell you this, turnovers will lose you ball games unless you get real lucky. And the Wildcats now, they're not too far off the cliff. They can come back with a good series of plays here and maybe get lucky and get a touchdown. 21 seconds remain.
Now the bouncing football is picked up by Spicer. Spicer gets away from one tackler, but he is met, and he is leveled on a great special teams tackle by Brian Peets.
Tried to reverse his field, and then he reversed his field again. And when he came back the second time, there were 2 or 3 Red Raiders just standing there waiting for him.
Brian Peets has done an outstanding job on punt and kickoff coverage for the Massena Central Red Raiders. 8 seconds remaining, and time is running out. And that is how we might get one play off. There you see our score, 15-6. And the seconds have ticked off the scoreboard clock, and that's how we go to halftime with our score, 15-6 in favor of the Massena Central Red Raiders. Gouverneur led after 1 quarter in this game, 6-0 on a Griffith to Ricky Koch pass from about 25 yards out. That made it 6-0. Then the Red Raiders took advantage of 2 turnovers by Gouverneur, one deep in their own zone at about the 10-yard line, and Sean Fauché was able to run it in from 1 yard out to make it 6-0. And then a little razzle-dazzle as Bressert threw to Jason Peets for the 2-point conversion. That made it 8-6. And then Sean Fauché just ran it in moments ago to make it a 14-6 lead for Massena. And then the extra point by Bressert was good. So 15-6 is where we stand at halftime.
And we've got a great halftime show that'll be coming up next.
The quarterback in the backfield, David Rush, and the give is to Corey David. Touchdown, Red Raiders. She and David. Rochford calling signals to give to Austin Rush. Rush off the right side. Touchdown, Massena. So on the left side, there's a give to Fauché. Fauché around the end. One missed tackle, 2 missed tackles, and Faucher's in for the touchdown as the Huskies had 3 missed tackles on the play.
Well, they're in the full tee.
It's going to give it to Corey David off the right side, over the right tackles. Rochefort, full house backfield now for Massena. Rochefort gives the rush over the right side, inside for the touchdown. Good touchdown once, but Massena recovered, obviously. They give to Corey David in motion. David over the left side, and he'll get to the touchdown. First down here. 2:53 to go. They give to Morrill in motion. Morrill over the right side. He's going to head his Steve, and he'll go in for the touchdown. In motion is Mike Dion. Mock drops the pass. He's looking for Lincoln on the left side. It is caught by Lincoln. Inside, touchdown, Massena. A 35-yard touchdown pass from James Mock to Matt Lincoln.
Mike Barton with a beautiful catch there as he was fully extended when he caught that ball. Now Sean Faucher in for the touchdown.
Still have 8 minutes before the end of the half.
P.J. Rochefort looks over the line now. Breaking away, it's Sean Faucher going for a touchdown. Sean Faucher broke probably 2 or 3 tackles that time. Check that first down as the Red Raiders pick up a first down this time. Austin Rush goes in motion. Rochefort looking deep downfield. Bobby Flynn gets behind the secondary. Flynn is going to go all the way for a Red Raider touchdown. Rochefort, now the give is around the left end, and this is Corey David. David's all alone. He's going to go in for a touchdown.
Corey David getting to the far sideline, right down the sideline.
Beautiful. The Red Raiders. Rochefort, now the give. Let's see, it is a touchdown. State tournament at that time, but that team, an outstanding team, and a lot of guys who went on to play college hockey. Red Raiders down the right sideline and going towards the end zone, and it is a touchdown for Massena.
Now the Red Raiders are
on everybody's progress in this game. Red Raiders on the end run, and it's Austin Rush in for a touchdown.
Nice run by Austin Rush there.
Look at, they put everybody in tight on this alignment, and they give us to Sean Faucher, and he breaks his way into the end zone for a Red Raider touchdown.
And a big touchdown for him, and if you'll want, you've got a good ticket for tonight.
There you see the ball resting on about the 1-yard line. Austin Rush, the ball carrier's in for a touchdown, and the Red Raiders lead.
The Red Raiders on the move.
Rochefort, the hand is to Faucher. He is in for a touchdown. Red Raiders.
Second steal.
Well, some schools may definitely be looking at him, no doubt. Jim Morrell gets around the tackle of Bill Jones.
Sensational field position right now.
They start at the 19-yard line. Red Raiders with a little misdirection. The throw is in the end zone. It's a touchdown. Bobby Flynn. There you can look at Bobby Flynn. Jeremy Collette with a big game against Watertown as he had, I believe, 2 interceptions in that game. This is Austin Rush. Hops into the end zone. Again. Rush goes in motion. The give is to Bressard. Mike Bressard's in for a touchdown. Mike Bressard.
And yet another different name into the end zone for the Massena Red Raiders.
St. Lawrence Central Larry's give up the ball on downs, and the Red Raiders with a football still on his feet. Sean Faucher. He breaks a tackle. Faucher gets away from Collette. Still on his feet. Faucher now with only Bill Jones to beat, in for a touchdown for the Massena Central Red Raiders. Before halftime, 7-0 our score. Jim Morrell, the ball carrier, bounces off a couple of tackles. He's in for a touchdown. Hampered his offensive play of late. Sean Faucher just continuing to move those feet, and he's in for a Massena Central Red Raider.
NAC Football and Everest Production Sports is brought to you today by Club 37, located on Tripoli Road, Massena. World of Color, located on Main Street in downtown Massena. By Landerville's Groceries, located on East Dover Street, Massena. Massena Building Supply, located on Water Street, Massena. Bob Post Insurance Agency, located on Maple Street, Massena. Frenchie Chevrolet Olds and Geo, located on East Dover Street, Massena. Blue Oil and Brazier Quick Stop, located on Route 11 across from the arena in Brazier Falls. Michelex Plastics. Great Northern Outfitters, located on Main Street in downtown Massena. Susie Travel, located on Main Street in downtown Massena. Hotel Netto, located on Andrew Street in Massena. And by WB Goodnow Insurance Agency, located on Route 11 in Brazier Falls. Once again, thank you to all of our sponsors, bringing you NAC Football today here on Everest Production Sports.
LaRue Oil and Brazier Quick Stop on Route 11 in Brazier have everything you need under one roof. Groceries, cold beer and soda, video rentals, year-round fishing supplies, ammo and hunting supplies, also gas, diesel fuel, and kerosene. On special now in the 12-pack cans is Genesee Light, $5.39, Coors Light, $6.99, Bud Light, just $6.99, and Michelob Light, 18-pack, just $9.99. Coca-Cola, 16-ounce, 6-pack, just $2.99, or a single 16-ounce bottle, just 56 cents, all prices plus tax and deposit. At your one-stop headquarters, LaRue Oil and Brazier Quick Stop, Route 11, Brazier.
Portions of this broadcast is brought to you today by Michelex Plastics of Massena.
Welcome back to Mike Nicholas Field in Massena, New York. Chip Chapman and Jamie Davis for this Section 10 championship football game. The winner will take on the Peru Indians of Section 7, as they were the winners of their league this season. They're here scouting this game tonight. Very good look at part of our fine crowd that's on hand for this football game. And it's Clark Porter to kick off as we begin the second half, and the Massena Central Red Raiders now are stopped at about their own 20-yard line.
And the Wildcats swarming like bees all over this Red Raider player.
As it was Matt Lincoln who tried to run the ball back.
Well, Chip, we take a look at that first half. And we've got a lot to talk about here in this second half. First off, taking a look at the stats in the first half. First for Massena, Sean Fauché, 10 carries for 34 yards. P.J. Rochford for 1 carry for 9 yards. Jim Morrell, 7 carries for 29 yards. And Austin Rush, 6 carries for 33 yards.
So the Red Raiders, Sean Fauché, who gained over 1,000 yards with a touchdown run in that first half.
And now
1,000 yards on the season, I should say.
Excuse me, he's upped the ante a little bit. He had 1,002 yards right up to that carry. So quite a season for Sean Fauché right there, Chip.
Great season. You mentioned it earlier in the first half there, when you can, when a guy, anytime a guy rushes for 1,000 yards, and here Sean Fauché does it in his senior year. Sean Fauché, who played in the Tier 1 championship game 2 years ago with the Massena Central Red Raiders, lost to OFA. I think it was 44-20 in that football game.
I don't know. Oh, excuse me, Chubb. I don't know whether you noticed it on that last carry, but the Wildcats are going after the ball. They don't seem to be going after the runner. They're trying to strip the ball away.
Well, it didn't work, and it allowed Fauché to pick up a first down that time. Red Raiders move the chains as they have the ball at about their own 34. They send Austin Rush in motion. And they give us to Jim Morrell, and Jim Morrell gets very little. That time is in on the stop once again.
Finishing up the stats for the first half, for Gouverneur, Griffith had 3 carries for 25 yards, Spicer 2 for 5 yards, Besaw 6 for 17 yards, and Jason Cardinal 3 carries for 1 yard.
Red Raiders with a second down here, and 9 to go for a first down. Austin Rush, the ball carry, gets away from one tackler. Austin Rush gets over the 40. Well, we'll call it the 40.
Well, Chip,
third down.
Excuse me, you've got some All-North players to talk about right there.
Yeah, we do. They've announced the Section 10 football All-Northerns. The all-academic team first we'll start out with. The players, we'll mention them. Well, why don't you go ahead and mention them, Jamie?
Well, we'll wait until right after this play right here.
Okay. third down for the Red Raiders and about 4 long yards to go. And the Wildcats come up big. Greg Weaver once again in on a stop. He gets some help, as also getting up from the pile is Chad Mullen. And the Gouverneur Wildcats stop the Red Raiders on that third down. So the Red Raiders forced to punt now. And, well, after Bressard faked the extra point and threw the 2-point conversion, I guess we'll say the Red Raiders will line up in punting formation.
It looks that way.
But leading by the score of 15-6. You got to kind of believe with the Red Raiders with a ball at about the 42-yard line that they will punt. Ricky Koch and Mike Petrie back. It's a low kick. Koch fields it on the run. Ricky Koch over midfield, and he's knocked down.
A nice stop right there, because I'll tell you, Chip, Ricky Koch had that ball, and he was on the dead run when he caught it. And Austin Rush making the tackle there. Nice tackle by Rush. There's Ricky Koch right there. He has been a pivotal player for this Wildcat squad this season. Well, making that all-academic list for the Gouverneur Wildcats was Jack Jenkins, Jason Besaw, Nate Young, and Tim Nixon. That is the all-academic list.
For the Gouverneur Wildcats, the Red Raiders have some on there too. We won't give you the whole list, but we'll give you the players that are involved in this football game.
Well, the Massena Red Raiders that have made the all-academic squad: Jamie Mock, Matt Lincoln, Mike Barton, Mike Dion,
Nick Lazarchuk.
Yeah, and also
Nick Sienkiewicz,
Pat Tripany,
and Ryan Kerwin.
So a lot of the Massena Red Raiders making that all-academic squad.
The Gouverneur Wildcats with a second down facing them here. And about 6 yards to go for, call it 7 to go for a first down. Griffith hands off to Besaw. Check that, it's Spicer. Jason Spicer, the ball carrier.
Also
he picked up a couple yards. Go ahead.
Excuse me, also on the All-North team at center.
Now this is the All-Northern team itself.
Me, the All-North team itself, right. That's right. On offense, first off at center is Frank Kutzprea. He was on the second team. This is the first team. Brian Bardo of Massena made it at guard. Kaylee Wells of Massena Red Raiders was one of the tackles voted on the first-string team. Michael Barton made the first-string team at tight end.
And this is Gordy Griffith rolling out, and he's got a man open down at about the 25-yard line.
And the Wildcat air attack has come alive here, Chip.
Jake Weldon with a nice catch that time.
Weldon, of course, in the first half picked up 13 yards on the catches that he made. And let's watch it once again. Beautiful catch by Weldon and some big yards right there for the Wildcats. Also on that All-North, then we've got a penalty apparently.
Yes, and it's against Gouverneur as they're stepping it off.
And you can see Matt Tesmer right there, third-year coach. Of course, his record in 1993, 10-8 for the Gouverneur Wildcats, and I'm sure he is not very happy with that at all.
As we have a third down coming up. So P.J. Rochford was the All-Northern quarterback selection.
And look who was on the second team.
Gordon Griffith of Gouverneur made second team All-Northern.
You got the number one and the number two quarterbacks right here.
Yes. We'll talk more as time allows about the All-Northerns. Gordy Griffith rolling back. He's got pressure by the Red Raiders. And Mike Bressard got a piece of him, and so did Tim Carbonell. And Griffith is sacked.
Between Flynn, Bressard, and Carbonell, you've got your work cut out for you to get by those three. They are not going to give too much if they don't have to.
Mike Bressard, an outstanding football player. He was in on that stop. So it is now fourth down and about 15.
And definitely the penalty did hurt the Wildcats right there, Chip. A tough break for them.
Oh, it did, because they were close to a fourth down. Here's a bad snap, but Clark Porter's able to take care of it. Drew Champagne had a good look at that as it was close to roughing the kicker, but Mike Bressard got away with it as Clark Porter got the ball off.
Corey Lasham on the reception at the other end.
Gordy Griffith, who was shaken up a moment ago as he was partially hit by Mike Bressert. You can see the grimace and the pain on his face.
He took a pretty good swat from Bresser, but then Tim Carbonell come in at the end and finished off the play. And like we said, they're two tough fellas right there for the Massena Red Raiders. And Griffith is on the sideline, and he is hurting just a little bit.
6:02 to play in our third quarter. 15-6, our score. And the Red Raiders with a big run this time as they give the ball to Austin Rush.
Doing what they do best, that running game, that vicious ground attack that they have had all season long that has been outstanding.
And the Red Raiders, who led the NAC in rushing. And Austin Rush, who had 82 carries for 596 yards on the regular season, adds to his season total. And the Red Raiders now have a second down and about 3. And the give is up the middle, and it's enough yardage, it appears, for another first down for Massena.
And Sean Fauché in on the carry for the Red Raiders once again.
So, Jamie, let's go over this All-Northern Athletic Conference football roster. These are the guys who were selected, the players who were selected All-Northern offensively. First team, Mike Thompson at center. Brian Bartow and Jason Fuller. Bartow of Massena, of course. Jason Fuller of Gouverneur at the guards.
Mike Thompson of St. Lawrence Central in there.
Yes. The tackles were Callie Wells and Sean Ramsdell. Now it's Jim Morrell, the ball carrier, but he is tackled in the backfield for a loss.
And that was, I believe, Jason Fuller in on the tackle, number 78.
The tight end, of course, as Jamie mentioned, was Mike Barton of Massena. The All-Northern wide receiver, first team, was Ricky Koch. P.J. Rochford was the All-Northern quarterback, first team. And then the running backs were Jason Cardinal of Gouverneur, Jeff Chateau of St. Lawrence Central, Sean Fauché of Massena, Dave Gravelin of OFA, and Bruce Williams of Watertown.
How would you like to have them in your backfield?
An outstanding first team selection. P.J. Rochford,
Oh, my!
a huge quarterback sack.
Huge one that I think was felt all over the league. I don't think hardly anybody has got to P.J. Rochford this year. And man, oh man, he's got to be celebrating that grab. I don't think we've seen too many people get to P.J. Rochford. And look at this. Number 58.
Greg Manning with 2 tackles and a fumble recovery last week in a win over OFA, comes up with a huge tackle that time as Rochford lost about 15 yards probably on that quarterback sack. So it is now third down, and we'll just call it a bunch. Rochford rolling out. He's got pressure again, gets the ball off. It is intercepted by Ricky Koch.
And Ricky Koch on defense with the sure hands, as he has had on offense tonight, catching passes back there to make the interception.
Wildcats trailing 15-6, but they take over.
Well, P.J. Rochford in a situation where he has to put this ball up because he's got from here to Syracuse for a first down, and he puts the ball up in the air, and what a grab by Koch. He picks it off on a key interception for the Wildcats.
Ball intended for Mike Barton, but underthrown, and of course the wind had something to do with that, Jamie. So Gordy Griffith only has about 3:16 remaining here in this third quarter. He pitches the ball out. It's a fumble, but recovered that time by Jason Spicer.
Well, there's that little throw. We saw that little throw like that out of Chris Ward of the St. Lawrence Central Larrys this year once. It was kind of that same deal again. Must be he was watching that game or something.
That underhand pitch, if you want to call it.
Yeah, it was dangerous, too, I might add.
But Spicer, there you get a look at part of the Gouverneur contingent that have come down. A fine crowd on hand here once again at Mike Nicholas Field here in Massena, New York, as they're lined up all around the football field, or most of the way around. Wildcats trying to run the ball up the middle with Jason Cardinal, but we get a whistle.
May have a little procedure here by the...
Now the second team All-Northern offensive players, Jamie. Second team center, Frank Kutsakoria of Massena. The guards were Jason Navarra of Watertown and Pat Trippany of Massena. The tackles, Eric Vivlamore of Potsdam, Don Moffat of Massena. The tight end, Marty Sullivan of OFA. The wide receiver, Jeremy Collette of St. Lawrence Central. The All-Northern second team quarterback was Gordon Griffith. And running backs were Justin Morrow, Austin Rush, and Matt Tiger, all made second team All-Northerns.
I hope that I can see the day one of these times where the NAC will get a chance to play another section in an all-star game between the two. That would be something to see.
We'll talk about defensive selections later on. Here we get a look at Jason Spicer trying to get away from a tackle. I believe Corey David had a grasp on that jersey of Spicer, and he couldn't go very far.
Red Raiders have been very, very good and very, very stingy on defense this year, Chip. We haven't seen too many big scores run up against this Red Raider squad this season.
Third down for the Wildcats, and they have about 17 yards to go for a first down.
Oh, my!
Jamie Mock!
Oh!
And he was in a hurry.
Just a brutal and vicious tackle on Griffith, showing no compassion at all for his fellow football player.
There you get a look at Jamie Mock.
Oh, and we have a penalty flag going down on the play, and something may have been said there. We'll have to find out.
Gordy Griffith takes the helmet off as he walks towards the bench, and he may be dazed. Watch this.
We'll watch this once again. Griffith, oh my gosh, and he just came off the bench after being punished before, and now he gets hit again, and oh my, extra.
And now to add insult to injury, the Wildcats are penalized.
Somebody at the...
Oh, look at this. Greg Besaw missed the block on Mock.
And I don't know where that penalty flag come, but I think it came from somebody who wanted to exchange Christmas card addresses.
So fourth down, Clark Porter back to kick, and a fine punt.
He in practice got off some duties. Look out!
But the Red Raiders are able to fall on that football as Corey Lejam and Austin Rush. Here you get a look at Matt Tessmer.
Close call there. I don't know what happened on that. Apparently, Corey Lejam kind of misjudging where the ball was going to end up at the end of that play.
Minute 20 to play here in our third quarter. 15-6 our score.
Get a look at the Wildcats sideline. I have no idea what happened there on that penalty. I still can't figure that one out, but good punt. Excellent punt.
38-yard line is where the Red Raiders take over. And Sean Fauché is the ball carrier.
Fauché out of that backfield like a bullet that time. He gained quite a few yards on that carry. And there you get a look at Sean Fauché. And he's an excellent young man to talk to. About 2-3 weeks ago, I had a chance to chat with him, of course, before the game started.
We have so many people to thank for our broadcast, our telecast this season. Jamie, of course, all the coaches were very receptive around the league this year.
Helping us out with getting all the information and everything we needed.
We want to thank all the coaches in the Northern Athletic Conference. We want to thank, of course, the help we got from people like the Bob Letterleys and the cab carries from the Watertown Times, and Bob Letterley, the statistician for the league, and also works for the Press Republican. His help with halftime stats for us. Dave Shea from the Ogdensburg Journal assisted a couple games. Of course, other TV stations.
Yes, we'd like to thank
games.
our good friends from the Malone and down in the Gouverneur and Canton area and the Potsdam area, of course, for the highlights that we received here at Edwards Production Sports. Their help very, very much appreciated, and it all comes together into one package, and it creates one great season for us here at Edwards Production Sports.
Well, that is the end of the third quarter. Our score remains 15-6 in favor of Massena over Gouverneur. We'll be back with more right after this.
The weather's changing, and so are the fashions at Great Northern Outfitters at 88 Main Street in Massena. Great Northern Outfitters now have new flannel-lined jeans and work pants. Lacrosse boots are available for men and ladies in rubber and leather. Also, brown duck-lined coveralls, bib overalls, and jackets. And don't forget Red Wing boots on sale still at 20% off at Great Northern Outfitters, located at 88 Main Street in downtown Massena. Susie Travel, a full-service agency. Instant computerized reservations, and Susie Travel now has service after hours. You can phone in reservations till 9 p.m. on weekdays and until 5 p.m. on weekends. All major credit cards accepted. Travel for fun or business. Your arrangements will always be handled professionally and efficiently. Once you've traveled with Susie Travel, you'll never travel with anyone else. Phone 769-2932.
Back at Mike Nicholas Field, we are ready to start fourth quarter action. Red Raiders in the lead 15-6, and a big third down play here for Gouverneur. They need to hold the Red Raiders, and the Red Raiders looking to just move those flags and kill some more time off that clock as they are in the driver's seat, leading here by 9. Jim Morrell, the ball carrier. Morrell trying to get away from the tackle, but he is short of the first down, Jamie.
And a number of times tonight, we've seen Morrell try to get to the outside on that line. The two stations that we'd like to thank for our footage here at Edwards Production Sports, WKL TV 24. We'd like to thank you very much, Joe. And, of course, LCC TV 31 in there in Malone, New York. And our good friends up there, Monty, thank you very much. And they've helped us immensely this season. We want to thank them very, very much, both of them.
Great help all season long by those fine folks. Here we go, fourth down. Red Raiders forced to punt. Bresser back to kick. And it's another good one. Ricky Koch calls for a fair catch at about his own 23. And that's where Gouverneur will take over. First and 10 at their own 23-yard line.
And I can't blame Ricky Koch for calling a fair catch right there. He wants to get his offensive team out on the field and get a drive going once again.
The All-Northern Athletic Conference defensive team coming up here. First team All-Northern.
This must have been
defense.
a tough selection right here.
Yes, Mike Bresser from Massena as a lineman, Lenny Garrow from St. Lawrence Central, Sean Bolger from Gouverneur, and Kevin LaHue of OFA were the All-Northern linemen on defense first team. The linebackers, Corey David of Massena, Casey Lane of Malone, Mark Villeneuve of St. Lawrence Central, Greg Weaver of Gouverneur. Great selections at linebackers. The defensive backs, Bobby Flynn of Massena, Dan Gilson of Canton, Brad Barlow of OFA, and Brian Williams of Watertown, the defensive backs.
And the Red Raiders have recovered a fumble. Oh, boy.
Mike Bresser, we just mentioned his name as an All-Northern lineman, and he picks up the fumble. We'll get a look at it right here.
Watch it once again, and there it is. Ball is loose right there, and the Red Raiders are all over it.
I'm not sure maybe now that Mike Bresser didn't recover the fumble, but
I have to check back through, but
might have been Brian, might have been Pete's. Not sure who it was who picked up the fumble, but in any event, the Gouverneur Wildcats, another turnover, their third in this game, and the Red Raiders just pounded away with Sean Fauché.
Well, turnovers definitely are hampering the Wildcats' efforts, and the defense is going to have to come up big here, and the Red Raiders are in excellent field position.
Quickly, the second team All-Northern defense, Jason Sias, Tony Derigo, Jason Sias of OFA, Tony Derigo of Watertown, Chad Mullen of Gouverneur, Ted Richards of Potsdam. Second team All-Northern linebackers, Mark Ball of OFA, Dan Butler of Canton, Scott Cheney of Potsdam, and George DeMar of Watertown. All-Northern second team defensive backs will get after this play. Red Raiders once again. Sean Fauché doing the bulk of the rushing for the Red Raiders. And they are going to move the chains as Fauché picks up a first down. The defensive backs, Mike Dion of Massena, Andy Smith of Canton, Nate Gooddale of Gouverneur, and Bill Escudero of Watertown. There's the second team All-Northern team. The outstanding backs of the year, Corey David of Massena, Sean Fauché of Massena, and the outstanding lineman of the year, that award goes to Jason Fuller of Gouverneur. So a lot of names we've mentioned tonight, a lot of names we've mentioned throughout the season. A lot of the mentions play for the red of the Massena Central Red Raiders, the red and white. And
I'll tell you, I couldn't agree more with the selections. It was a tough job this season, a lot of talent in the NAC this year, all the way around. And I'm not just talking about the first place team, I'm talking about all the way down the line. We saw some excellent playing by some great players in this league.
Second down for the Red Raiders. It's a fumble, let's see.
We'll have to wait and see who got it. And the Wildcats don't look like they're celebrating too much, so looks like a scrum in rugby there.
Yeah. Bruce Champine's trying to tell the linemen to move up. And it's third down, so Massena.
That was kind of
P.J. Rochford, I believe.
toughest call for a referee to make right there. Whose hand is on it and who's got the best look at it?
It is 3rd and goal.
Well, Chip,
Massena?
I've enjoyed working with you this season. Between you and Bob Latterly, you'd make up a heck of a great sports computer, I know that. But I've enjoyed it very, very much. You put up with my bad jokes, my interrupting you constantly, and my terrible-looking sneakers all season long.
Likewise, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun, Jamie, working with you. Look forward to working with you in the future here as we have probably some basketball to do, some hockey this winter. Looking forward to continue working with you here on Edwards Production Sports. The reason why we're thinking there, you get a look at Matt Tessmer on the sideline. We're not sure about next week, right, Jamie?
No, we're not yet. We don't know. Well, of course, we don't know until the end of this game
That's
where
right.
these teams are going, that's for sure.
If Massena were to win, though, we're not sure if we're going to be going down to carry that game or not.
Of course, that'll be a future announcement here on Edwards Productions. And we'll let you know ahead of time whether or not we will be following.
Morrell goes in motion. Rochford gives to Fauché. Sean Fauché folds his way over to 5, down to about the 4. Ricky Koch in on the tackle. And it is 4th down coming up. 8 minutes and 15 seconds, and time is elapsing here in our 4th quarter.
The one thing that I am not going to miss during the football season is the constant blowing of horns behind us on Route 37.
You're right. It's right behind us, and we hear it all the time. For Rochford, he is sacked.
And that is a big, big play for the Gouverneur Wildcats right there.
Coming up with a sack is Sean Bulger. P.J. Rochford faked into the line as the Red Raiders thought they might catch the Wildcats. They did a couple times in the first game, and the first time these two teams met.
Clark Porter was in on the play, too. Here's Porter coming around, and oh, yes, sir. Porter has got him by the shoestrings, too, along with Josh Weldon.
So Gouverneur with a big defensive hold.
And the Wildcats are trying to fire up the crowd. Here it is once again. And yes, sir, boy, but that combination right there, Weldon getting right in there.
This time they tried to throw the ball out in the flat to Ricky Koch, and the ball, I think, was partially deflected. Mike Dion in on the coverage that time, but it was incomplete. Wildcats have the ball at about their own 9-yard line.
That might have been the key play of the game right there for the Wildcats.
7 minutes, 31 seconds left in our football game. 15-6. Massena in the lead. That's how this game stood at halftime. Petrie goes wide left.
And that defensive front line for the Massena Red Raiders coming alive once again.
Might have been a fumble on the play, but Gouverneur picked up the fumble this time, as it was Sean Bulger.
The Wildcats right here, Chip, definitely have to sustain some kind of a drive. They can't afford to give up the ball in this end one more time. For one thing, the Massena Red Raiders know how to run the clock. They've proven that time and time again all season long. The Wildcats need to sustain this drive.
And this is a big play, 3rd down and 10. And Griffith rolling back. He doesn't have much time, and the pass was intended for Greg Besaw. He got his hands on it, but could not hold on to the football. And Griffith had to get the ball away in a hurry because he was being rushed, maybe by Jamie Mock.
Mike Dion was back there as well for the Red Raiders, and he's been a pivotal player all season for them, too, on defense. There you got to look at the Gouverneur Wildcats sideline. Very concerned bunch right now.
Clark Porter in his own end zone. And this ball bounces and bounces. Austin Rush is going to move away from the ball. And the ball, a good kick, good punt. As Porter probably got about 40 and a 48-yard punt that time.
And it looks as if it will be the Red Raider ball at the Gouverneur 46 out there. So, or excuse me, the Gouverneur 44-yard line.
And that's where the Red Raiders will go 1st and 10. Massena, who had 22 veterans return this season to their football team. In contrast, the Gouverneur Wildcats began the season with first-year starters at 20 of the 22 positions. Here's Sean Fauché with a run, and Fauché once again picks up about 4 on the play. Call it 2nd and 6.
Red Raiders want to do nothing but, I think, run this clock right now, Chip, for all it's worth to keep that lead.
Down to 6:02 and running remaining in this football game.
Nothing would please them more, I'm sure, though, to get another score on the board and try to seal this one up. Wildcats will have to work to cause a fumble or get the ball back somewhere, or one way or another.
Sean Fauché once again the ball carrier, still moving those feet, but moving those legs, but doesn't have a whole lot of running room that time.
Excellent rusher.
Josh Weldon in on the stop for the Wildcats.
Excuse me, Jim. Fauché has shown textbook-style running this whole game. He keeps that head down, and as you said, keeps those feet going forward. He hasn't done much wrong. It's just textbook, like he was teaching it to somebody tonight.
Sean Fauché is very fortunate to have a big offensive line that are able to open up a lot of holes for him. This is Austin Rush, and Rush gets little yards. Once again, Josh Weldon in on the tackle.
Good play by the Wildcats right there. You know, that play for the Red Raiders this season has been a tough play to stop. You've not only got that front line opening up the hole for the rusher to get through there, but you've got 2 more people in the backfield who come through there ahead of the runner, and they sort of line up in what looks apparently like a wishbone. It resembles a little bit like a wishbone, the old wishbone, and it pays big dividends for them.
Good point. You get a couple of running backs to help. Red Raiders with a 4th and about 3, and they are going to punt. Mike Bresser hoping to pin the Wildcats down deep in their own zone.
And they just got that off, too.
And the ball goes out of bounds at about, let's see where they mark it, probably close to the 5-yard line.
Wow.
Mike Bresser's done an outstanding job kicking all season for the Massena Central Red Raiders, and not only is he does a great job defensively, but also kicking for Massena. 4:21 remaining in our football game. We'll be back right after this.
Enjoy the live entertainment and great company at the Hotel Netto, 43 Andrew Street in Massena. On Friday and Saturday, boogie to the sounds of nightlife from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. On Tuesday night, it's a singing affair with karaoke by Jerry Morin. On Sunday, enjoy football on the large screen TV with complimentary wings. And be sure to take advantage of the after-work specials Friday from 4 to 7. Great entertainment, great company, and of course great beverages at Hotel Netto, 43 Andrew Street, Massena.
Welcome back, Gouverneur. The Wildcats now with a pitch as Petrie caught the football, then pitched to Spicer, who picked up a few more additional yards, but pretty good coverage by Bobby Flynn.
And I think we've got a flag down on the play, and they're going to talk it over. Yes, we do.
Bruce Champagne now talking with Corey David, one of the captains of the Massena Central Red Raiders, and that means this penalty is against Gouverneur. Did he just make the wrong signal? Yeah, he must have. I think it's a procedure penalty against Gouverneur.
Yes, it is.
Yes, there you go. That time Bruce pointed in the right direction and half the distance, puts the ball at about the 2-yard line, so a play that picked up some yards is nullified by the penalty. Gordy Griffin back to pass, throwing the ball downfield and over the head. I don't know.
Look at that secondary for Massena. Look how many players they had back there. Excellent coverage by the Red Raiders that time as they got that secondary back in there. And Ricky Koch, you can't get enough players back there to cover him.
You had Lejam, Flynn, Dion, Kerwin.
Surprised I didn't get asked to go out there and try to cover him, man. Coach DiAgostino, everybody with a kitchen sink back
I'm not
there
sure
to cover him.
they would have made you wear those sneakers out there. I'm not sure if you would have made it.
The sneakers again.
There you see our score on the WEPT scoreboard. Brazier quick stop. Now they throw the ball out onto the flat over on the right side, and we have flags down. Sean Bolger.
This is about. And the Wildcats are reacting as if it's against the Red Raiders.
3 minutes and 50 seconds is all the time remaining on the clock. The winner will advance to, I guess you'll call it the North Country Super Bowl against Section 7.
And
And
will
the Peru
take on
Indians?
Peru, right. A team that's had quite a season, and they've been known in the past. They've had some excellent seasons here the past 3 or 4 years. And they ended up the season, I believe, 6-2 over Beekmantown.
Seton Catholic, Plattsburgh, and Saranac also in their division. So a big 15-yard penalty. And I'm not sure it's an interference call against Massena. Gouverneur
Well, now there's something you don't see every day.
gets somewhat out of a deep hole that time, Jamie.
Now, there we go.
So that
I couldn't explain that one, even if I tried just now.
3:50 to play in our football game. Here's a quick drop back, and Ricky Koch running the ball down in front of the Massena bench.
Good call by the Wildcats right there. Short pass and down the sidelines, and we've seen a number of teams that have had success against the Red Raiders with this short pass. Here it is once again. Back to pass is Griffith, and he hits Koch going down the sidelines, and that play developed real quick. They didn't have much of a chance to get to Griffith before he could get the pass off.
Ryan Kerwin in on the stop, along with, there you got to look at our roving camera, Chris Tabor right down in front of us.
Oh, hi, Chris.
Gordy Griffith rolling back, looking down the sideline, and it is caught. It went through the hands of Corey Lejam, and the ball was caught by Mike Petrie.
Well, we'll take a look at it again, I hope. I want to see that again. Here it is. Well, here it is once again.
Corey Lejam has it go through his hands. Watch.
Oh, my gosh. And Lejam, he's looking around as if, how could anybody catch that ball after I touched it like that?
So the Wildcats have the ball at about the Massena 48. Griffith rolls in his
Oh,
throw.
my.
Intended for Jake Weldon, a little bit outside his reach.
And there's the fellas up there. As you see, Mr. LaRose doing the talking up there from Full Service Radio, FSR. And there is Gary Edwards, telethon host extraordinaire behind the camera. Hi, Gary.
And he's got your gloves on. I just noticed that.
He took them, and of course, there's Chris Tabor along the sidelines, and he has given us some great shots all season long.
Griffith, the pass this time complete to Greg Besaw. Besaw finally run out of bounds in front of the Massena bench.
Some of the kids along the sidelines there, along the bench, Gouverneur Wildcats, and yes, hello is the word. Right, there we go.
Third down. Third down and 2. So the Wildcats with 3 minutes and 13 seconds remaining. There we go. Look at the assistant coach, George Gordon of the Gouverneur Wildcats.
And they were looking for a first down on that play. The Wildcats signaling they got a first down, but it's the fellows that are dressed with the zebra shirts that have to say whether or not they have it. And I think they're going to bring the chains on and they're going to take a measurement. I'll have to wait and see what.
Gordy Griffith held on to the football that time. First down is the call. Timeout by welcome back to Mike Nicholas Field. Gordy Griffith moving his Gouverneur Wildcats, a quarterback sneak, and Griffith picks up excellent yardage. While we were away, Jason Spicer made a nice catch down the left sideline, and then Jake Weldon on the right sideline as Gouverneur picked up some additional yardage, and then you saw that play right there by Gordy Griffith.
We also had one incomplete pass. Ricky Koch was down. He was able to get back up again. He went to the sideline. He's back out there once again. Sean Fauché with that, Griffith with that nice run. He's done that 2 or 3 times tonight, and that brings us up to where we are right now.
what do they say when you watch the replay of the Notre Dame game on TV? Now we return to further action in the fourth quarter.
Well, we had a power problem while we were away. And we had some kids down at the far end who were playing around and, well, basically pulled our plug. And there's nothing worse to have somebody pull your plug, I'll tell you that.
No, you're exactly right.
And nothing more frustrating in TV than have a power failure. So, but we are back. And the one great thing out of that whole thing was the fact that our light still works here.
Yes.
In the booth.
2 minutes and 19 seconds remaining in our football game. The Wildcats trying to get in the end zone. They trail 15-6. Griffith rolling out, looking in the end zone, in the corner, and the ball is caught. It is a touchdown, Gouverneur.
What a grab!
Jake Weldon over Mike Dion, and the Wildcats.
And this is a big play right here. Let's watch it once again. Griffith is back to pass. He looks in the corner, and there is Weldon. He is, and he couldn't be any closer to the line than he was if he'd have taken a couple of steps back. He would have been out of the end zone, and I think they're going for 2 here, big time.
Perfect timing pattern. So it is now a 15-12 football game, and the Wildcats going for the 2-point conversion. Koch rolling out. Koch being pressured.
And he has met Koch. He tried to run that in, and he was met.
Ricky Koch rolled to his left, but there was a swarm of Red Raider defensive players coming at him, and he did not see anybody open in the end zone. So 2:13 remaining in our football game, 15-12 our score. Massena in the lead. We'll be back right after this.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Bob Post has been there for over 30 years, serving the people of Massena with complete auto.
Well, narrow the margin. I mentioned Ricky Koch, who was rolling out. I met Gordy Griffith. Sometimes you slip of the tongue. Well, the Wildcats line up like it's an onside kick. 2:13 remaining. I'm sure the Red Raiders have the good hands people, as you call it.
I'm sure they do.
Just 10 yards away from the football. Clark Porter ready to kick off. And he bounces one, and it's the Red Raiders.
And you're not going to believe who got it. It was the same person in the last game that was there for the good hands ball. I'm sure it was. We'll have to check and see. Getting up.
As we only have 2 minutes, 11 seconds remaining, and it is Matt Lincoln.
It's Matt Lincoln, and he was the one that caught it in the last game. The Wildcats tried that onside kick, and it was a good one, too. And it went the amount of distance that it needed to go. But Matt Lincoln, and he has been a pivotal player in that situation 2 games in a row now for the Red Raiders.
I don't know how many timeouts the Wildcats have remaining. You know the Red Raiders are going to want to get a big run or two from guys like Fauché and Austin Rush. They give the ball to Austin Rush. Rush picks up maybe 3. They're going to want to protect that ball because Gouverneur will be tackling football now. Time continuing to run. Minute 40 remaining in this football game.
The clock is definitely on the Red Raiders side. If they can continue to run it and keep that ball in their position, they're going to be in good shape. But I'll tell you, the Wildcats are going to be going for that ball.
15-12 is our score.
And the Red Raiders in no hurry to come out of that huddle. They are going to use every piece of time that they possibly can.
Much different football game than the first time these two teams met.
Definitely.
Earlier in the season here in Massena. P.J. Rochford hands off to Fauché. Fauché right up the middle. Sean Fauché still on his feet. Finally wrestled to the ground.
And it's a good thing that Fauché wasn't wearing one of those tearaway jerseys they used to have about 20 years ago, or I think he would have been off to the races.
He definitely would have been off to the races because that was the last man to tackle. Sean Fauché was probably right into their secondary that time. A great rush, and that's what the Red Raiders needed, was a big couple of runs to move the flag probably one time, and that's what they've done. Down to a minute 2 remaining in our football game. With this timeout, we're going to take timeout. We'll be back right after this. 1 minute, 2 seconds remaining in this football game. Red Raiders looking to just down the football. They do P.J. Rochford because Gouverneur can't do anything about it.
Well, the Wildcats have given them a good run, and there's still some time left on the clock.
Hey, who won your league over there?
So we want to let you know that this has been an Edwards production, and any rebroadcast, reproduction, or retransmission of this game without the express written consent of Edwards Productions is strictly prohibited. Our cameramen for this football game have been Gary Edwards and Chris Tabor. And this telecast has been produced and directed by Mr. Houdini himself, Chad Edwards, in the bus. P.J. Rochford once again goes down on one knee. And the Massena Central Red Raiders, 20 seconds remaining. Gouverneur can't do anything about it. That is the football game. And the Massena Central Red Raiders win the Section 10 championship with a 15-12 victory over the Gouverneur Wildcats in a pretty good football game here this evening, Jamie.
Well, it has been a long but a very prosperous season for the Massena Red Raiders. And Coach Tony D'Agostino has got to be very, very happy. He has done an excellent job this season with this Red Raider team and the players meeting out there. And I'm sure the Red Raiders are saying, boy, this is definitely a different Wildcat team that was here the last time during the Hall of Fame game.
But what hurt the Wildcats the first time, Jamie, 6 turnovers in the first game, bit them again here tonight. 2 turnovers, and they turned into 2 Red Raider touchdowns.
Well, you won't get an argument from me, Chip. That's exactly the way it was. And turnovers do not win you ball games when you pile them up.
Credit to Massena Central Red Raiders. A good football team takes advantages of another team's mistakes, and that's exactly what Massena did here this evening. Sean Fauché with both rushing touchdowns for the Massena Central Red Raiders. And Sean Fauché, a guy who we've heard about all season long, another great rushing night here tonight. He had over 1,000 yards rushing on the season. There you go, look at Mike Bresser, who had an outstanding season for the Massena Central Red Raiders. So the Red Raiders, there's Jamie Mock.
And they go on to play a tough Peru Indian team who will not be just another day in the park to them, I'm sure. But for right now, Chip, has been an outstanding season for these Red Raiders. A perfect season here in both postseason play for them so far and a perfect season league-wise. A great season, and I'm sure that this will be a season that many Massena Red Raider senior graduate will remember, and Massena Central High School and its alumni in general. They won't forget it for a long time to come.
An outstanding crowd on hand once again here at Mike Nicholas Field. Tony D'Agostino there. You get a look at Tony as he's getting ready to talk to his football team and let them know that he is very happy with their effort and that they are going to be continuing to play football here in 1994. So that will just about wrap it up from Mike Nicholas Field. The Massena Central Red Raiders, the Section 10 champions. And there you get a look at that happy group of Red Raider football players as they will play Peru next week in sectional play. And that will wrap it up for our telecast. For my colleague Jamie Davis and our entire Edwards Productions sports broadcast crew, I'm Chip Chapman. See you later, everybody.